if what you're doing isn't working, try something new. You did mention that you were part of the program Mind Over ARE. And so if anyone is listening now who is maybe considering it or maybe wanting to just find out a little bit more, what would you say to them?
Well, I say this with anything is you get out what you put in. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I told you on a couple of Zooms, like, I think this is a little hokey what we're talking about here. Like, I don't know if this is going to work. But there I was Sunday morning listening to the affirmations audio saying, I can do this. I can do this. So I would just say, I think you mentioned it in the Instagram post, but like if you've kind of gone through it, the thick of it, you know what these tests are about and you know the knowledge you need to obtain and retain, but it's not resulting for you in paper and you need that extra edge. And that's why I initially called you was I feel like I just need that extra edge. I need that extra tool that I don't have or extra couple of tools. And so that person that is kind of in that spinning your wheels phase, don't know what to study, don't know how to study, don't know what to do to get a pass, needs to come and figure out beyond the AREs, just a little bit more about themselves and different practices you can use to boost that confidence. So that's who I would say needs to go to you versus anyone else.
Yeah, I've worked better at explaining that the last few months because I don't think I explained that well enough early on, that there's great programs out there. And if you're just starting to kind of gather your resources and figure out what this whole ARE thing is about, there's other programs that are more equipped for that. This is kind of the later process when you're trying to figure it all out. You're trying to figure out why it's not working for you. And I like to say it's like for the senior ARE takers
in the trenches.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be someone who's taken just practice management or, but has failed a bunch and is having a hard time. It's still definitely for that person too. But it's weird. And that's why on our very first call, I always say, be open-minded, because like, we're going to dive into some stuff and you're going to be like, why the hell are we talking about this? I need to pass my exam.
Yeah.
And then,
but there I was doing hypnosis therapy.
Yeah. And it's powerful and there's so much power in it. And sometimes it is like, if what you're doing isn't working, try something new and you never know. And hey, you passed.
Yeah, because I kept running into that. What's that like saying? Like the definition of crazy is doing the same thing. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
That's what I was running into. And that's why I initially reached out to you. Was like, hey, what's this thing all about? Because I obviously need to shake things up. And whether that was with someone else or this program, but I liked the tools that I've gotten from you. Even if I wasn't taking these tests, these are helpful skills as a professional, whatever. So
even just life lessons with relationships and everyday life. So
yeah, exactly.
But, and it's so true too. Like you do get out what you put in, because there's always a couple people that I'm like, oh yeah, that person's passing their next exam. Like there was no brainer. Like I knew you were going to pass your next exam. Like I could tell, like you did the work and you were feeling the way you showed up during our last calls than our first, like you were ready and you can tell. And then there's some other people that, they're just kind of there to check off something else on their to-do list, but it's not going to resonate until until you're ready for it too. So yeah. And it's, you were ready.
Yeah. And I think like, I also see a lot of people talk about like time, like how much time do I put in or how much time I don't have the time, or time seems to be a pretty big thing in this. And someone told me like, if it's important to you, you'll make time, whether that's 10 minutes in the car listening to, whatever, a podcast about the test or taking 5 sample questions, there's time. So just making the time for it, I think is important. So
yeah, we always make priorities for our priorities. Like, there's, and it means that sometimes we have to sacrifice other things during that time. But if this is a priority, you make it that, and then that way you can get done and then you can focus on the other things that you love.